We know she's watching. We're gonna prove her, yes, you taught us well.
And later, LES legend Luis Guzman will share the hood that formed him.
What's good in your hood? I'm trying to find out. We dining in or doing takeout. It's real people cooking real food. Recipes are our way, and the chef is my dude. Take the napkin off your lap, lick your fingers good, cause we're about to see what's good in your hood.
What's up? It's Dariany, and I'm in the Lower East Side, NYC at Casa Adela. It's an iconic neighborhood spot that's been making authentic Puerto Rican food forever. So let's check it out. Wepa!
What's good in your hood is what happens when you put your life story on a plate and then share it with the world. And today, we're in the city of hustlers, NYC in the Lower East Side, to meet a family that has brought joy to their community for decades. At the center of the Lower East Side is this tiny 5-table restaurant that's been sharing its home-cooked meals since 1976. And if you're from Puerto Rico, chances are you've visited Casa Adela on the Lower East Side. This place is synonymous with Puerto Rican food in New York City. And the common ingredient is love, and lots of it. Here's a place where you can actually taste it.
This place reminds me of my grandmother in Puerto Rico when she was cooking her mofongo, her arroz con gandules.
I come over here to eat because it's the only place left in Manhattan that you can find good, authentic Puerto Rican food.
Since Adela's passing, the place has been passed on to a new generation aiming to keep her legacy alive.
She came to New York from Puerto Rico back in the early 70s. She opened her first restaurant in this same area in the corner, and then we moved over to this side, and we've been here since 78. She had her routine. 4 a.m. was her shower, do her prayer. Of course, she lived right above, and she was here 5 o'clock every morning.
Well, my mom was a person that felt that everyone that came to the business should at least, with or without money, have a great meal. And that's what's really kept her going.
Most of the people here, you know them from the neighborhood, you know? So it's like you're eating with your family.
Our best sellers is our rotisserie chicken. Our next is our pernil, which is our roasted pork, and then we got our mofongo. And then we got the chicharrón de pollo, the chuletas. We got a lot of good food here, man.
What makes the rotisserie chicken so amazing?
Family secret. I can't say, honestly. But I'm gonna just put it this way, a lot of love and a lot of passion. And respectively, you just always know how much to put.
Mama Adela, a mother figure to the neighborhood and a pillar for generations, has left a void since her passing.
When she first passed, it took me like 4 days to come back in here. I couldn't. And it was hard. Her passing was very hard, but I'm not gonna get emotional, but I miss her. When I spent that morning with her, I had breakfast with her, I helped out with the catering. She even gave me the phone and said, take a picture. I'm like, okay. It's so weird. And she ended up having her stroke here that same morning, but I was here till the end. So I started with her and I ended with her.
She was the quintessential abuela cooking for the neighborhood, a heavy torch proudly being carried by the family.
Okay, guys, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're gonna learn how to put the fun in mofongo. Okay, guys, I'm in the kitchen with Marissa, and she's gonna teach us how to make my favorite Puerto Rican dish of all time, mofongo.
Okay, step one is taking plátanos, cutting them, and we're gonna throw them in the deep fryer. We'll fry them at 350. Just test it to make sure that they're done.
So what do you just make sure they're nice and soft on the inside?
See?
Oh,
That
okay.
tells us they're done.
Now you're gonna take the plátanos.
And we're gonna throw them into the pilon.
Now, the important question is, what's in the pilon?
Oh, that's garlic.
Yeah, I saw you
Some
smushing garlic.
spices.
Some spices.
And a little bit of butter. And we start to smash. Once it's smashed, we take our fresh pork and the crackling, and we add it with a little bit of gravy. Then we take it and we mold it. And this is how the molding happens. This is the sauce we use. It's from the sancocho. And we use it to pour it over the mofongo and give it that flavor.
So I call it caldito because to me it's soupy. And when you pour it on top, it adds that little bit of liquid against the crunchiness of the chicharrón. Do you like to take a little bit of the mofongo and dip it in the caldito, or do you pour it all on top?
I prefer dipping it.
I'm gonna do it that way. Oh. Girl! You guys do it right. There's so much garlic, like I said, the crunchiness of the chicharrón, which, let me just exacerbate that situation. Puerto Rican perfection.
Thank you.
Seriously. Super flavorful pernil that melts in your mouth, the crunchiness of the chicharrón, the sauce, you guys. I would like to bathe in this one day.
Pro tip, this food will make you extremely sleepy because it's so good you want to continue eating after you're full. So a piece of advice from yours truly, make sure you get some of the café con leche.
We used to go to the library, take out reading books on culinary books. So one day my grandma was like, hey, come over here, I'll teach you how to do it. From there, that's where my passion for cooking came from. But she always told me, when you're cooking, just cook with love. Because at the end of the day, people was always gonna come back for the food and love. You're cooking it with love and passion, and you put your hard work into that one meal. So I went to college. I went to Johnson & Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island. And I studied there for 5 years. And I came out recently with my bachelor's in food service management and culinary arts. My grandmother, hopefully she's looking down, she's smiling, so it's always good.
Coming up next, don't go anywhere, the challenge.
Casa Adela is the type of restaurant that's a dying breed in neighborhoods that are quickly changing by an influx of new residents and businesses. It's a place where the food is at the center, and at the core of the ingredients is family and love. A love that makes for the ultimate spice.
Now today's challenge, you have to make a dish that is new wave Casa Adela.
Okay.
You up for the challenge?
Hell yeah, I'm up for the challenge. I'm thinking of starting a sandwich. Sounds like, something traditional, something can't go wrong. It's gonna be a fake version of a pate con, but my own twist to it.
Okay, so this will be the bread of the sandwich.
Put it that way. A little bit of mayo ketchup, lettuce, got some tomatoes. Now, this is the only twist on it. I'm adding sweet plantains.
So it's like double plátano.
You got double plátanos. You got the crispy ones as well as the sweet ones.
About to be crazy.
About to be crazy. This right here, I think my grandma's gonna be proud. I'm adding pernil to it. Can't go wrong, so let me get a little cut right here. The loisaida sandwich.
The loisaida sandwich.
The loisaida sandwich. Try it out.
I gotta get down to this level to try it. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What? Can I dip it in the sancocho like you were doing before? Come on!
Go right ahead.
Come
just
on.
do right ahead.
I'm gonna just dip it. This is crazy. We might just put this on the menu. Okay, you won the challenge. You won!
Let's get it.
This is the What's Good in Your Hood, the Saida sandwich. Great job, my dude.
Thank you.
Great job.
The LES is a better place because of Mama Adela. Her plates made with love have fed generations of artists, musicians, activists, and everyday neighborhood folks, all who she treated like family.
When the 5 Puerto Rican nationalists were released from prison after serving 27 years for fighting for the liberation of the island, the first place we brought them to was to Adela.
For more insight on Casa Adela and the neighborhood, I broke bread with native LES son and New York legend, Luis Guzman.
So look, people, just so you see, this is how you do it. You go, you dunk, you look, you go. And you know what this is right here?
The best part of life?
That's the best part of life, baby. That is el cuerito.
I want to see more of the neighborhood.
Honey, what we need to do is dance, okay?
Say no more. A little walk, then hueva.
The Lower East Side, or Loisaida, as warmly called by its Puerto Rican residents, is part of a bigger shift happening in New York City.
This part of the neighborhood, from Avenue A to the FDR, from Houston Street to 14th Street, we call this Loisaida because we gave ourselves in this neighborhood an identity. This neighborhood always had a spirit about itself, We had the best block parties, man. We used to have block parties at La Plaza Cultural, which is on 9th Street and Avenue C.
It's traditionally been an immigrant working-class neighborhood that quickly began gentrifying in the mid-2000s, prompting the National Trust for Historic Preservation to place the neighborhood on their list of America's most endangered places.
It's been a struggle, but it's been a worthwhile struggle because, again, we fought real hard to keep our community, what's left of it, intact. You know, and like I said, we became the warriors for this neighborhood. Ride or die, you know, that's who we are.
That's beautiful.
What?
Amazing.
Now, Luis, I know you like to dance.
Oh, shit, you got that going on.
What is the Loisaida Festival?
It's like a block fair, a street fair, and it starts from here all the way down to 12th Street. It's cultural. They bring in vendors, they bring in music, and every year we do our own. This year was a little bit extra special because they were dedicating it to Adela, and they presented her with this amazing big head sculpture that was done of her, and then they took it through the whole Lower East Side, and then they ended up in a park, and they had her in front of a big bowl of sancocho. Yeah, so it was really special.
I'm going to dedicate my heart and soul to make sure that this restaurant continues its location and what we started out to do, which was feeding people.
We're pushing, and we know she's watching, but we're pushing further to keep it going because that's our strongest point. We're going to prove her, yes, you taught us well.
The generations that pave the way, the abuelas that raise our families and in turn our communities. The sacrifices made and the years spent sharing conversations over food and simple meals. Like the proud Puerto Rican flags flying high in Loisaida, Casa Adela is a true symbol of a changing neighborhood. Full of stories that unite us through a common denominator, family and love.
Thank you so much to the Familia Fargas and, of course, to Luis Guzman for talking to me about the LES and everything that is Casa Adela, and that's
What's good in your hood?
Next time on What's Good in Your Hood, we're heading to Miami, where we'll dive into a neighborhood seafood icon with 305 native Amara La Negra.
Okay, you